Hello, credit union community. I am the host of Grow Your Credit Union, Joshua Barkley. We really need to figure out as an industry how we can acquire top talent and how we can keep it. And today I'm joined by James McBride. He's the SVP of Credit Union Relationships, and he's here to talk about CU Benefit. Let's kick things off, James, with just sort of what CU Benefit is and how it can help credit unions retain talent and, quite frankly, acquire it, because we know that's also difficult.
Yeah, CU Benefit is a CUSO. So it's a CUSO based out of the Dallas, Texas area that really focuses on helping credit unions rethink how they're using a rule that most people aren't thinking about at all, which is 701.19. And that rule essentially allows you to use what would be otherwise impermissible benefits to pre-fund the return, so you can prepay for things like health, dental, and vision, lots of other types of benefits. You can pay for employee conferences. You can prepay for almost anything that isn't compensation inside that plan. And so it puts your money to work in a new way that is completely different than what most people are using it for, which is to pre-fund executive retirement. So you just have to think differently about it. Now you're not thinking about it from that perspective. And then we do a really good job of stripping away a lot of the fees that are associated typically with insurance products, like a split dollar plan. And so instead of having to pay all that, you get all that in your return. So your return goes way up, probably double market. And then it allows you then to give better benefits, better solutions to your employees, which will then allow you to then have a higher retention rate and also probably a higher adoption rate from applicants as well.
Yeah, and talk to me a little bit about some of those new avenues or better ways we can treat the employees, because you and I both discussed this before the call. The statistics show that salary is not the biggest indicator of whether or not someone's going to leave a job. We think it is because it's very easy to go, well, we're not paying them enough in the credit union space. That's why they're leaving. When in fact, the data shows that salary is not the reason why people leave. So what does CU Benefit do to give new avenues that just make the employee happier? What are those avenues?
It enables a credit union to think differently. I think that's the main key. And then, one of the things that I talk to clients about and partners with CU Benefit is, now that you've got this, by the way, you're obligated, because it has to be tied to employee benefits if you make these investments. You're obligated to use that money in a way that's meaningful to the employee. Now, what you're going to typically think about is things that these benefits don't pay for, which is compensation. To your point, we're thinking that we were, as an industry, underpaying people. That's true. We're now coming more towards market. That's fine. But these folks, when they're trying to compare jobs, they're thinking about their career. They're thinking about, where am I going to go? And is there a progression point for me? Well, in a smaller organization, a lot of credit unions, most credit unions in this country are what you would call small, right? So when you're thinking about that, you're thinking about small business, the person they're looking, they're saying, I don't see a lot of places to go. But if you create a platform for them that says, we're going to invest in you in a way that's meaningful to you. So we're going to send you to conferences. We're going to give you better training. We're going to give you better opportunities. We're going to give you a chance to do things that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to do. And oh, by the way, we understand that you might be, a single parent or a young parent that is trying to cover childcare costs, trying to cover all the different healthcare costs and all the things. And by the way, that's gone skyrocket as well. Now, all of a sudden, you're in a position where you're not having to figure out how you're going to pay for that, right? Because on average, that's going to increase 6 to 8% a year. That's just the employer gross portion of that. So some of that's going to get passed down to the employee. They're experiencing that, whether they're at Buc-ee's, the gas station chain that's paying people $24 an hour or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Versus the credit union is paying you $20 an hour, but you know what? Now all of a sudden, I don't have to pay for healthcare. I don't have to pay for dental. And my child, they're in a position where I don't have to worry about how are they going to be taken care of when I go to work. That then changes the conversation, puts them in a position to be more successful, the credit union that is, when it's out there and it's trying to do outreach to potential employees. And then when the employees that are coming in and they're saying, okay, now what? You can say, look, this is how we're going to invest in you. This is how we're going to make sure that you have a career here and in this industry 5 years from now.
James McBride, he's the SVP of Credit Union Relationships. James, thanks for stopping by to talk about this one. If you're interested in learning more about CU Benefit, head on over to cubenefit.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next time with some awesome solutions solving big, major challenges in the credit union space.